Hi, everybody. I'm Soledad O'Brien. I'm a journalist. I'm also a producer for Matter of Fact with Soledad O'Brien. I am a very proud advisory council member for Advancing Black Pathways. It's an initiative from JPMorgan Chase to drive economic growth in the Black community. So thank you for tuning in to the JPMorgan Chase Career Series, which is brought to you by Advancing Black Pathways. So in our previous episodes, we have covered how you can explore a career in various fields within the financial services industry, including a career in technology, a career in treasury, as a financial advisor, an internal client advisor, and as a community manager. We've also talked about how you can apply to open jobs at JPMorgan Chase. So now we're going to share with you some tips to help you stand out from the job search competition and better position yourself to land that ideal role. Today I'm here with Jesse Jackson. He's the head of learning for JPMorgan Chase, and Kim Gregory. She's the head of talent development and total rewards program office. They're going to give us some very tangible, specific advice to help you on your journey. So welcome. So nice to have you guys.
Pleasure to be here, Soledad.
Thank you. Let's begin with your own careers. Tell me about your career path. Jesse, why don't you start for me? How did you get to where you are today?
While I'm fortunate to hold a doctorate in education from New York University, I've started my career as a teller in a branch bank for Chase Manhattan Bank then, that eventually became JPMorgan Chase. And it really is a function of understanding the adaptability needed in one's career pathway, understanding the opportunities that present themselves, and how to navigate those opportunities effectively. And that's something that I think we will be double-clicking on shortly. So thank you for the question.
You bet, you bet. How about for you?
Yeah, so I think that very similar to Jesse in that I feel like I was in the right place at the right time and able to articulate what I was good at. But when I think about my career, I started my first job working for the United States Congress and then navigated to go get my MBA after I decided that I couldn't be a lawyer, which is what I thought I wanted to be. And then I ended up at the bank. So my point is, I think, be okay with moving around and doing different things, because the skills that I learned made me what Jesse often calls me, which is a utility player. So someone who can show up, assess problems, and then move through to solutions.
I think there's a lot of contradictory advice, right? Like, just go out there and don't think too hard about your career, but be very specific about what you want to get to. Bring your whole self to work, but actually don't overshare about your personal. I mean, it's like literally contradictory. How do you think about basic advice for people who are looking for a career right now? Why don't you start for me, Kim?
I have a 16-year-old, and I'm always telling him, if you start to hear the same thing over and over again, change it, because it's getting in your way. And I think that's the biggest piece of advice I wish I would have given myself. And the right feedback hurts.
Yeah.
The right feedback is the feedback that makes you sting a little bit. The feedback that makes you feel good, move with the one that stings and then change it.
Soledad, I would keep it very simple and simply frame it as get up, dress up, and show up. And in this age of acceleration that we live in, it means something materially different than it meant when my father gave me that same advice. So as we think about getting up in this age of acceleration, it really means being intentional with respect to where those customers are. How do we get up in a way that really makes it easy to interface with them and deliver more value that differentiates us as individuals? But it's also understanding that we all have uniforms, whether it's in a small business, a large business. As I think about Michael Jordan, he goes out or did go out in a uniform. As I think about Miss Biles, again, she has a gymnastic uniform as well.
With a little goat on it now.
That's right, with a little goat, as she deserves, right? And these are the greatest, right? So we need to ensure we understand what are those uniforms for our industry, for our businesses, and really ensure that we're showing up in a way that cements our brand as professionals.
But if you're just coming out of college and you were scooping ice cream last summer,
right,
you know, and maybe for the last, 6 months you've been, I don't know, babysitting or nannying or something, right. I think it's hard to articulate how those are career builders.
One of the things that really resonated after I talked to hundreds of people in the field was the inability to take something I've done and then talk about it so that people really understand how that would apply to what you're looking to do for them. And so we worked with people on, we're going to give you programming, but then we're going to help you with how do you write your resume and how do you sit down and talk about, I went and got a degree in project management, but I'm not a project manager. So I don't know if I know how to do that. And I said to somebody, no, 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 no. You went and got a degree in project management, but then you came to help me on a committee for a project, and you ran that project. And they said, oh, does that count? Yes, it all counts. Figure out what you learned in that role that you can bring forward to the importance of that new opportunity.
I think that's great advice. And I have found when people come in to talk about their past experience, that often they frame it about themselves and not about the work or what they accomplish for the person they work for. I mean,
Or
it
the
really
team.
is. It really is that results thing, right? It's like, yes, I'm sure that you were great, but I want to hear how the team did.
That's right. And to pull the thread on Kim's comments, that's one of the attractive things about this age of acceleration is, 25 years ago when I started, it took you 10 years to become proficient in what it is you do. Now, because change is so rapidly, these young adults can become proficient in a fraction of that time to the extent that they apply themselves, as Kim has outlined.
Yeah. Any final words of advice for the people who are watching this, who are thinking about, is this a step I should take to start exploring some of these careers?
My final comments would be first to reinforce what I said earlier, and that's this notion of really getting up, dressing up and showing up, but also
Kudos to your dad, by the way, for that.
Well, thank you. And also bolting onto that, this notion of saying yes, finding more opportunities to say yes.
It's really, really excellent advice. Thank you. You can also visit JPMorganChase.com, ABP Careers, as in Advancing Black Pathways Careers, to catch the replay of this episode or any other episode in our series. A big thank you to you guys for great advice. I think really putting the cap on all that we've heard earlier in this series and giving people really good advice as they go and apply for these jobs. And thanks to all of you for tuning in to the JPMorgan Chase Career Series. It's been brought to you by Advancing Black Pathways.